Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 434, and today we're doing battle with Gwen Nidalee. And so, a couple of things before we talk about the deck. If you're looking to get all of your Soul Fighter skins out there and into action, this is one that can do it. Gwen and Nidalee both have Soul Fighter skins. But kind of interestingly to me, I was doing a little bit of the research today, seeing if there was interesting decks to bring forth to you, the viewer, and there was an interesting thing happening over on Legna's site. If you head over to LLORR-stats.com, it's a total mouthful to say, but if you Google search Legna, LOR stats, or just bookmark it, it's very easy to see. And so this is the matches that they've recorded over the course of the past 24 hours, and a very interesting thing happening up at the top of this list. And so Nasus Senna, Vaults of Helya, the most commonly played deck, nothing too crazy there. But if you look at the next set, there's Gwen Vayne at number 2, Gwen Quinn at number 3, Gwen Nidalee at number 4, and then Darius Gwen at number 5. And so a lot of people out in the Masters space really looking towards Gwen as being a potential counter to Aatrox Vayne. And so, I want to jump on the bandwagon. I want to play a little bit of Gwen too, see how it feels in terms of this current meta. To me, it's a deck that just gets completely annihilated by the likes of Samira Fizz and the likes of Jinx. And if you really want to play that hard into beating something like Aatrox Vayne with a moderate win rate, you're not even like a 75% win rate, then by all means go for it. I don't think this is a good choice for the open, but got to give it a shot, and maybe we can get some big stats with the big game tycoon. And so, to speak to the deck itself, it has a few very interesting combos going with it. And so, number one, we have this nice quick attack vulnerable package. And so, there's the all-terrain trooper and the merciless hunter passing out the vulnerables to the opposing units. And then both Gwen and Nidalee have access to quick attack, so they're able to make those quick attack challenges into your opposing units. Very powerful way to kind of come in and control the board. Up next, this deck has pretty good removal, has the Quietus and the Soul Harvest to take down the cheaper plays or even remove your opponent's equipment, the Vengeance to catch the bigger things, and then it's able to protect all of our spells from the opposing removal with the Avenging Vestias and the Rite of Negation. But the big thing to really kind of come in and talk about with this deck are all of the synergies that really tie in with Nidalee. And so we do have a lot of summons as we look at these Shadow Isles based Hallowed cards. Many of them are capable of producing summons. Redeemed Prodigy summons a unit, Strike Up the Band summons 2 units. So it gives us a couple of additional ways to level up our Nidalee, and then the Hallowed theme also ties into the Overwhelm theme that we have going on here. So both Nidalee and the Towering Parophant have Overwhelm. We're playing a copy of Supercharge to maybe give Gwen or give a big game Tycoon Overwhelm, and so those Hallowed bonuses aren't necessarily going to be lost. If you attack with a 10 attack non-overwhelm unit, your opponent blocks a 1/1, you don't get to deal any damage. You attack with a 10 power Overwhelm into a 1/1, you get to hit for 9, and so those Hallowed bonuses onto Overwhelm play quite well. Last but not least, does have the big game Tycoon in here to help boost our ambush plays and also generate a bit of value. We aren't going super all in. You can't play the Curious Changeling in this deck, but leveling up the likes of a Towering Paraphant or a Nidalee with the Tycoon on board, just an absolute mountain of stats. And so that's it. That's the deck. That's what we're doing battle with today. You know what we're going to do before the battles begin, though. We're going to come in and pay that pay-to-win price. And I looked at right here at the Boisterous Host, number 1, right on top, ready to catch that premium treatment. Good job, my friend. I hope you're ready to perform today. And let's jump on in and get to some battles. The old Scissor cats out here. And so yeah, it's interesting. Like the lengths people are trying to go to counter Aatrox Vayne. It's a deck that I feel like if you're doing slightly better than a coin flip against, then you've done what you wanted to do. But it's not a deck I think will show up with enough numbers to where you really want to play a counter lineup. Like we talked about this a bit with things like Ashe LeBlanc, as to where Ashe LeBlanc is a very powerful counter against the likes of Aatrox Vayne. It also plays well into things like Jax Varus. This is a deck gaining a lot of steam right now that has the big OTK potential attached to it. When you have the access to Frostbites, you can take down these bigger themes. But it's a deck that plays very poorly in the face of aggression and plays very poorly in the face of control. It's really looking to hit that mid-range in the middle kind of space. But all right, into the action here. Reasonable enough curve. We have a Nidalee we can drop on turn 2. Into the Merciless Hunter, into the Gwen. We can play a Strike Up the Band if the curve doesn't work out entirely how we want. But all in all, looking pretty strong. A little less inclined to drop the Nidalee now, but just having the double... The double quick attacks with Nidalee Gwen is pretty powerful, especially if we can go into this next turn and just do some work with these Strike Up the Bands. Let's see. Shouldn't have to worry about our Nidalee getting boomed here. I think we're wanting to play this just a little bit slower. I'm looking to add the Boisterous Host. We should have flipped our Nidalee beforehand, probably. But we'll get her flipping soon enough. That's probably going to come back to bite us a little bit, in the sense that if we're going to Strike Up the Band next turn and then play Gwen 2 turns from now, having Overwhelm on the Nidalee would be pretty choice.
Any takers?
All right, no takers, Jax. Oh, gonna play a card? You gonna let us Strike Up the Band? Nope. not letting that happen. Oh, maybe. Goes forward and backwards and forwards and backwards. Reminds me of a famous song from The Who. It's called Squeeze Box. Here go the lyrics for you. It says, Mama's got a squeeze box she wears on her chest. When Daddy comes home, he can't get no rest. You play it all night, and the feeling's all right. Mama's got a squeeze box. Daddy can't squeeze at night. It's a song about boobs and sex stuff, but they got it on the radio back in the the 60s or the 70s or whenever it came out. You weren't allowed to say stuff like that, but that's how they beat the censors. Mama's got a squeeze box she wears on her chest. Welcome to Battles with Bust. Dropping the serious knowledge bombs on you. Mediocre to decent LOR play. Good pop culture knowledge. You got it right here. Glad to be of assistance. But all right, there's our Nidalee flip off the Strike Up the Band. We had the mana to do the second set of summons here. Now we can show off the Hallowed ability a little bit, right? We can put the Hallowed onto Nidalee. She's going to have the 8 attack on this attack, while also giving Gwen a bit of a boost. Oh no, pretty powerful stuff rolling through here. Do we want to attack with the Boisterous Host? He probably has too many good blocks against it. Like if you just want to switch from blocking a Ghastly Band to blocking a Boisterous Host.
An end to war. Hey, stop that.
Not a bad turn. A little 10-piece nugget to the dome. Gonna generate that Nidalee spear to throw at Jax.
I said.
I dig it. I dig it. Uh-oh. Bringing the thunder onto Gwen. At the end of the day, that's pretty okay, right? If opponent wants to come in and set up their big Varus turn, losing out on those combat tricks hurts quite a bit. So, the F just happened here. He played Sharesies, but lost all the attack on his unit. Must have clicked it backwards, huh? Well, I'll take it. I'll take the W where we can get it. GG. Getting all distracted singing songs about boobs and all right. I'm glad when things kind of come together in the first game, though. It doesn't always come together in terms of a lot of the strategy you want to showcase in the video. I don't have like 4 hours to sit around and just find perfect games to condense down into an hour, and so I really like it when it comes together, getting a lot of those hallowed themes and the overwhelms together. Pretty nice, pretty good. Another song I was reminded of, since we're just singing all the songs today. I heard of it from Role Models. Role Models is a fantastic movie. I think it still holds up. I've watched it recently. The movies like that from the early 2000s with the likes of Sean William Scott tend to, drop one or two bombs that wouldn't be as comedically acceptable these days, but they do bring out the number. Oh, there we go. Phone failed to connect. Okay, I was about to restart the game when I was talking about it, but they make note of the song "Love Gun" by Kiss, another fantastic sexually charged song. Is I can't remember the lyrics, but it's about Paul Stanley's penis. It says "Love Gun." I'm lyrically challenged at the moment. I got too many thoughts going on. All right, reasonable enough start. I'm not excited about these all-terrain troopers going up against Heimerdinger Jayce. There's just not a lot of good early targets for it, but it's a reasonably strong early game play, so we will just go ahead and drop it on the board. Maybe it'll soak up a mystic shot or something as opponents like, oh no, maybe it's Nidalee, and so maybe we'll get a little bit of bonus and advantage that way. I don't think he's even going to fit in the curve anymore now. If we're going to... maybe I'll change my mind. I would like to get this Forge Chief off of the board. He didn't give us the chance to strike up the band. Alright, let's see. We can still maybe do a strike up the band attack and get the unit off the board that way without losing any of our physical bros out here. Don't want to lose my physical bros. This is the weakest one, right? Weakest enemy vulnerable. Alright, we'll leave the trooper at home. He can't block, right? This is brash, not fearsome, but I feel like we can probably do a little bit better than just attacking for damage into the scrap trap. Definitely about to get zinged here. Let's strike up the band again. We gotta have something work with Gwen next turn, and so if she's moderately scary, might pull off something with that. And we are taking a bunch of damage, but we're not really at risk of dying. And so I kind of feel like we could use Quicksand 2 turns from now and block the scrap trap, and we're not really hurting in terms of health. Now, where we're going to hurt is we're going to play this Gwen, and she's just going to get popped by Vengeance. We don't have the mana for Rite of Negation, so that's where it's going to hurt. Ooh. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. That was pretty good, right? How big are our dudes? A 6 attack Prodigy and a 10 attack Gwen? That's pretty big. That's pretty big. All right, come through for that 11-piece nugget. He doesn't want anything to do with Gwen, and that's kind of dangerous for opponent, right? He's fairly short of the lethal. And we're going to have a touch of protection with Rite of Negation, and so might be in an okay space. That was a pretty good Hex deck handler. Like, we were in a spot to where we could block one of these things, but now we have to lose our Gwen if we want to do that.
There's nothing a little ingenuity can't fix.
Okay, this'll work. I think. I thought maybe it'll work. 10, we're gonna take 14. Let's see how we can spread out this Quicksand.
Powering up.
Yeah, it's going to be for exacties. We can quicksand the scrap trap. God, this is just an all around such a shitty attack. Sucks to get punished like that. The Hextech handler was just too much, right? But we have the quicksand into the scrap trap in one more unit. Get the block onto the scrap trap, but it's still 13. Fine. It's mind blowing that he hooked the Gwen. Like, not even getting a kill on her. I guess she is capable of blocking the scrap trap there, but... Well, maybe I need to take that back. That wasn't as horrible. If we would have blocked the scrap trap and then quicksanded out of the damage, that would have been a different story. Opponent would have been not dead, and so I take it back. You can you can have the attack there. Damn, real close to finishing that one. I'm curious if we should have been a little bit more conservative with our strike up the bands, just to ensure that we have more blockers. I mean, that's not really a space to where you're typically worried about a bunch of units coming in from the opponent. Like, I guess they could have a production surge, but interesting. All right, bringing it back against Heimerdinger Jayce. See if we can't maybe catch a little bit of vengeance here. So I'm going to hang on to the Boisterous Host. I want to end up finding, like, good on-curve plays. Maybe we hang on to Gwen. She's just not a superstar in this match. I really like that we're starting off with the Boisterous Host into the Merciless Hunter on the odd attacks, but...
A brief engagement, but a joyous one.
that 2-cost space, I guess we can fill in with pretty much anything, though. All-Terrain Trooper turned up, but any ambush would have worked. Do we want to just keep slapping stats on the board? Or do we want to go for an additional prowl? We do have to worry that, like, he's going to have a shock blast. I think we just have to eat a shock blast if he has it. It's not awesome, but it's not the end of the world. Just, like, attacking for 4 doesn't feel like enough. And then if this is one of these turns to where his 6 mana is going to be invested in just the giant unit, hooking that unit out of combat with the Boisterous Host and then blasting is still going to feel pretty good. Alright, we'll get in there, Fam Jam. Alright, what do we got now? Soul Harvest turns up. Might be able to do something. I didn't really want to get our Gwen involved when we can't protect her with the prowl. So let's see how this goes. There's a chance he might just pass, and that's really not terrible for us. And it's like if he had a Vengeance or a Piercing Darkness for Gwen, there wasn't anything we could do about it anyways. But if it's another Soul Harvest kind of thing, we're still rolling around with the prowl. Not bad, not bad. Give me that little quick attack challenge everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about it. You know it. You know it. How much work we can do with the Paraphant. It's like it's too expensive to go for the Paraphant and Big Game Tycoon, but he's still capable of doing quite a bit of work on his own. But I think we just want to play it. I mean, if he's got another just like Soul Harvest kind of thing, we have a secondary Gwen in hand. Now that he's doing this, we could just add the Paraffin to the board. No ambushes, just attacks. Alright, let's send it. I don't want to give him the chance to add a real spell here. So we'll just go ahead and send. There is a world to where we get to like kill off a blocker in front of the Paraffin. This isn't that world, but some definite potential there. And Gwen flip.
No matter their resolve, mine will be stronger.
Gonna add this big game tycoon. We're gonna be looking for the Avenging Vastaya off of this. Found it.
An easy target makes for a satisfying hunt.
Get everybody nice and protected. That's a big old boy. That's a big old boy right there. 10-10 coming at you. I think we just take it. The thing I'm interested in this turn is going to be double striking up the band onto Gwen. Like, how much does that gets us up to 7 hallowed, gets her to 11 attack, so we get to punch for 5? Is that enough? I mean, one of the things we could also look to do is block and then thread the needle into one of his backline plays, right? Because this guy's not really doing anything here. And then start playing the double strike up the band next turn. I think I like this. So Gwen doesn't get nearly as big, but we do get to strike in with a bunch of width. So if he only has like 1 unit for the turn, then we have a chance to just swing in. Like, he's most certainly blocking Gwen with like a Hextech Handler, and he can get a block on the Shadows in the Brush, whatever. But if we get to deal like 4 damage through combat and then 4 damage with Gwen, then that's enough to win the game. Well, it's a bit of a frowner. Still got the mana to take Gwen down now. I was hoping he just had to play a big spell, you know. See what the big spell is, though. Vengeance is manageable.
Come on, people. Let's make tomorrow today.
Something like a Piercing Darkness is much worse. We still got this Soul Harvest, right? Might look to drop the Soul Harvest onto the Forge Chief. Just got to see how much he spends here. But at the end of the day, we're probably only doing 6 damage, right? He's probably going to cast a spell onto Gwen, and then we're going to... I wonder, if he just kills off Gwen, do we want to just keep the Avenging Vastaya at home? So that it's capable of blocking the Scrap Trap, and then we can add Redeemed Prodigy to the board? I bet that's the way to do it. Let's see what he does. Oh, he adds in Jayce.
Hextech cannon, tested and primed.
Well, if it isn't the man of tomorrow.
Hey, back to work if you don't want to be the lady of yesterday.
What a joy!
So what's she at? 7? So she only deals 3?
Nothing to fear.
Alright, she's at 7 power, we're dealing 10, she only deals 3. So then if he blocks our 4 bigs, So we're going to be one short. Okay. So the Soul Harvest will get us there. If he has a Mystic Shot or something, that'll slow us down. But now, 6+3 should be a lethal.
Get out!
Scrap Trap. So do we want to even attack with the Avenging Vestaya now, right? We know that we're 1 point short of lethal. I really like having it to block his giant dude here.
I shall need my tools.
Okay.
Step aside.
Drops him to 3. Doesn't feel good. I mean, we had the option to go for more Hallowed last turn. The mana wouldn't have worked out the same. We did an exact 3 bank on the previous turn, but... Need that big Overwhelm now, huh? Gotta get that big Overwhelm crushed through. Use all of our Hallowed points. Acceleration gate's probably enough to end.
Interesting use of tech.
See what turns up. Can definitely hit some bad keywords. So with this elusive Jayce, we can still block the Scrap Trap. Oh no, Jayce at Challenger. We're gonna get 21. Shit. Alright, GG. Damn. That's close. I'm curious if there isn't a space in there to where, right, we had the opportunity. Adding all of those ghostly bands gives you that chance to get some damage in then, but I'm curious at the end of the day if we shouldn't have just gone more in line with a dropping some ghostly bands and then having access to the Halloweds there. But tough stuff. Nonetheless, GG. On to the next one. Next battle. So I'm about to start a business. I'm taking investors if y'all want to invest. If you take my idea and put it on Shark Tank or something, I'm going to sue the shit out of you. So get ready. Keep that in mind. But backstory, okay? I don't know what my wife does in terms of eating lunch at work, but she has to just throw away spoons. I don't know what the fucking deal is. Every time I go to the spoon drawer to get a spoon, to eat something, there's going to be like between 0 and 0 spoons. And then you go and look in the dishwasher, there's also 0 spoons. And then you look in the sink, there's like 4 dirty ones. So like in total, we probably have like 4 spoons in our house. I have to imagine the wife has thrown away at least like 10 to 15 spoons. And so it's like, I don't want to have like 16 spoons. You only got like the one little slot in the drawer thing. And so what I really want to do is just buy like 4 spoons. But if you go on Amazon, you get to searching. It's kind of like a minimum of 10. A lot of people are trying to get you to buy 20. And that's just way too much. I don't want to have that many spoons. I don't want to buy 20 spoons and throw away 8 of them. And so, this is just kind of the world we live in. I'm stuck with either 4 spoons or 24. So I'm gonna make this business to where we just sell spoons individually. It'll be at a large markup, and then we're gonna be good to go from there. Getting all those spoon dollars. And so, let me know if you want in. This is a potential billion-dollar idea, and so glad to bring the assist where I can.
Change up my style.
All right, back into this game though. No more spoon chat the rest of the way. There's no real reason to play units on our turn, right? We can just play the Strike Up the Band on this turn. We're not going to really be using that Hallowed. I think Hallowed 4 off of the Trooper should be enough, so if he has another way to give Jax +2 health, then we're okay. And I do want to lead off with this Ghastly Band with the intent that we might play a Merciless Hunter off to the side. And so I'm kind of leading towards just dropping the second Strike Up the Band, but my concern is we don't have any of our big like overwhelms to go along with it. fish fight comes in. Jax real close to flipping. I think we'll put this extra point of damage from the Hallowed onto Jax. If he's got a catch, we'll still get the kill. If he has another +2 health cultist thing, then we won't. So just take it in that way. And this is fine. Soaking up the Violent Discord. I'm not like really amped about having to use a Quicksand onto Jax, right? We don't have any blocks on him anyways, but I would prefer to save Quicksand for a big OTK attack coming in from Varus. But, you know, realistically, Varus is going to come in and just have a spell shield. I don't think we're going to be able to stop a Varus OTK with the Quicksand.
Any takers?
You're dead meat.
All right, well, let's try and take him down. He's the champion we actually care about. Jax is going to flip here, and that kind of is what it is. He's a much less scary champion than the Varus is. Varus being able to come in and blast for tons and tons of damage. So Sharesies comes in, not enough to get the boost, and so we get to protect our dude, take the Varus down. Feels good. Did he just Sharesies that backwards? Oh, he took the equipment off of Jax, so Jax didn't get the flip. That makes sense.
If only she could see me.
Now we're ready to big time with this Gwen. Get that +5 Hallowed running through for the round. He has to play a unit or he's just dead, right? We got 9 from the Hunter and 2 from Gwen. There it is. Well, it's a unit. Unit's not big enough to block a Fearsome.
We'll get our licks in.
All right, let's see if we do it. Get that big boom. He's up here trying to push his Forsaken Bakai into the block zone. Turns out he can't do it. GG. All right, not bad, not bad.
See that? I did that. Me.
You may have asked yourself, why are we playing Ghastly Band or whatever it's called, Hallowed Generators, instead of playing the Landmark? And that's something that I've picked up from Rico Rex. Rico Rex, the overwhelmed champion of the world. He's played exceptional amounts of Sejuani Gwen, which carries a lot of similar ideas, the blue Gwen and I guess the yellow Gwen here, in the sense that you're getting these big, overwhelm attacks boosted off of the Hallowed bonus, and his kind of thoughts and feels were that the Landmark is just too slow, and so he has I would have to really go dig it up to find his thread on Twitter about about that, but I think I'm in agreement, especially as I kind of expect Jax Cannon to really pick up over the course of the next few days. People are not giving it enough respect, and as the format slows down, it'll get the opportunity to be much better. Nope, don't have an attack token. Thought we were going to get in here. Not the case. Don't think we want to be adding in any more dudes. Let's just hit with the shadows. This will be a reasonable target for a Quietus. There's just not a ton of units that actually matter in Ekko Jinx. So we'll just take it off the board while we can. No reason to waste the mana, but the only units that really matter in this match are going to be Ekko, it's going to be Jinx, and then it's going to be that unit that gives all of your units +2 attack, and we can't kill any of that stuff with Quietus, so we might as well just go ahead and remove this singular unit that we can't get a kill on. So how do we want to do this one? Like, these aren't particularly strong targets for the Trooper, right? I'm not that excited to be taking down Clocklings, but we'll have to see how long we're gonna just get kind of like blocked into the flip space with the shadows in the brush. But we do get to be a little tricky with the shadows in the brush, having the prowl in hand. Opponent Actually, let's just do this. Let's just summon the trooper. I want to keep the, like, you need to keep these stats going out here, and it's kind of a turd if we don't get to spend our mana this round.
Got a good feeling about tomorrow. Things aren't gonna improve themselves. Well, you had a future.
So we would just want to take the flip here, right? It's still gonna kill Ekko. We don't get to kill it, counterspell anything, but we get the kill onto Ekko. I want to save the quicksand for later. Let's see if he time tricks into that chrono break to bring Ekko right back. Nonsense. Gotta be kidding me. Yeah. One out of 32 cards. Just fucking nail it. Insane. Alright, GG. That's the way the pros do it right there. Alright, into the next one. Insane. We could have stuck around with that one a little bit longer, but that's essentially done at that point with the Vengeance and the Quicksand able to interact with Ekko, but our hand doesn't do anything and they still had like a million cards. Alright, on to the next one though. So up against Darius Gnar, we should be able to be pretty safe with Gwen. So let's just hang on to a Nidalee, hang on to the Gwen. I do like the kind of life gain aspect that we get from Gwen, given that she can help us heal back a little bit in these games. We're most certainly not the aggro here. But Darius Gnar is another one that's really been picking up here recently. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to play the deck, but I just don't think this is a particularly strong format for it. You're trying to hit a bunch of like scouts kind of decks when you play Darius Gnar, and I just don't think enough of those exist, and I don't feel really comfortable playing a deck like Darius Gnar into the Noras, right? You should ideally be good against the Noras. You're just trying to overwhelm through their shitty units. But if you have to go all in on Bone Club, it's just too easy to kill off the main unit and get tempoed down. Let's go ahead and just drop this Soul Harvest. The unit ultimately not super scary, but I worry that our Soul Harvest just isn't going to get the chance to do anything since he's led off with this Omen Hawk. You also just have to kind of worry about your opponent coming at you with like a combat trick. So if you try to Soul Harvest a 3-power unit and they play whatever the combat trick of the day is, another place of worry. Good looking Nidalee here though. Not a lot he should be able to do about her. Brings an open. I'm curious if we ever have to worry about like a Brother's Bond or Elixir of Wraths. Sometimes these decks will play that kind of thing. Whirling Death we can deal with, but how much do we realistically care? Like, I'm a little bit more interested in just getting this Gwen going and running around on board. Okay. I'll allow it. It kind of sucks to a degree having the Rite of Negation. There's not a lot of targets that Rite of Negation can actually hit in these matches, so like being able to actually hit a relevant one is kind of nice. Merciless Hunter. Might get some usage out of that. See how much mana the opponent spends down now. We don't have any combat tricks, right? We technically had a Prowl there for a while, but it was just because we had 2 Nidalees. Without access to the Prowl, it's a little bit more challenging to attack into this Ballista. I was expecting that we were just going to take basically a small hook into the Omen Hawk just to gain a little bit of health and clear out some board, but Merciless Hunter makes this much more interesting. And the Saurion.
Gonna find a gift for Renekton, right, Arda?
So we know our attacks are safe, right? He's tapped out. Well, he's got 1 mana. Ugh. This is a rough spot for an Elixir of Iron to come in, but I think we're willing to risk it. And not having any Hallowed has been a bummer.
That's right. Run!
Can't just quick attack down these giant units. Does have Elixir of Wrath. Wow. Alright. That's the way it's gonna be, huh? Curious how slow we are in terms of getting this vengeance down. All right, we can manage. We're gonna get trucked here for quite a bit, but I mean we can still force him to just pokey stick out of this. Well, not quite. We're gonna get blasted by the Iron Ballista. I think it's okay. Like, attacking with Gwen doesn't really feel like or blocking with Gwen doesn't feel like a win in any way. So he'll get the Gnar flip, but he doesn't get the pokey stick. Just feels like we're just a touch too far behind. Again, we don't have Hallowed, and so I mean, I wonder if we should have just blocked with Gwen to get the Hallowed and then replayed one next turn so she can actually attack into these 4 health units. Kind of embarrassing how weak she is at the moment. Well, we could save that vengeance for next turn. Let's just drop the Paraphant. Probably not going to be attacking with it. Just too dangerous.
A warrior needs a drum beat.
I guess he did play the Saurion. I was like, Jesus fuck, like literally every single unit in his deck has +1/+1. It's like he's playing the Siren song without telling us anymore, but alright. I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. We're not gonna be dead here unless he has like a Battle Fury, but still reasonably okay.
You were one.
Yep. There it is. All right, Jesus, get me out of this game. Whew. Okay, let's get ourselves one more in. Ooh, that was tough. Just getting tempoed out everywhere. One final battle. See if we can't unlock a victory. Feel better about ourselves for the day. What do we got? Samira Fizz. I'm telling you, like, this is probably the first time I've played Samira Fizz over the past 3 days. Like, I've been playing a bunch of gauntlets hitting that Prime Glory. Just the deck has not been showing up, and it's weird. Like, I'm not certain if people just don't like it in this format, or if it's a deck people really intend on playing, but they're just getting like practicing their third deck. And it's just been weird how this has come together. Like I'm really and honestly thinking of just pushing what's it called? The Jinx back into our lineup. Like I definitely want to play Jax Varus. I definitely want to play Aatrox Vayne. This is that third deck I'm kind of up in the air with. We played a little bit of.
No need to make a name for myself. Just an impression.
We played a little bit of what's his name, Swain in the previous video. I'm kind of bouncing around between not liking scouts and playing Swain, and then potentially just going back to Jinx Cannon. If everybody's just going to be in this space to where you're ignoring Jinx Cannon and playing all these decks that are just mid-range killers, then prepare to get worked. Prepare to get worked. I see you're playing Ashe LeBlanc. I'm coming to the party with something a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. But here, I want to take down the Fizz. We can interact with Samira enough. It's just a matter of getting these elusives off the board, so that feels pretty decent. I didn't want to play Soul Harvest onto Samira because that's just disaster mode, right? If you Soul Harvest Samira and then he's got the combat trick to protect her. So, opponent just decided to waste the all out there as well. I think he probably thought that it was only a -1 attack coming in or something. Let's get Gwen in. I want to keep our health up as high as we can. We're at Hallowed 1. We actually got a Hallowed this game, and so Gwen can attack with some authority now.
Unique.
Alright, and then a big combat trick round next round with Thread the Needle and that Soul Harvest. I'd like to put Soul Harvest on the Inferna. She's the actual scary card here. If we end up losing the Redeemed Prodigy, it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. But losing out, or letting him keep Inferna and just draw like 6 or 7 or 8 cards is going to be complete nonsense. And so we'll get her out off the board as fast as we can. And it's tough to tell what he would have seen off of our Swindle. It should just be a bunch of units and Soul Harvest. I wouldn't be surprised if opponent took Soul Harvest, but it is a pretty expensive card for them to be using. Gwen does have to worry about it a little bit, though.
Hope they're watching.
He hasn't seen Thread the Needle, though. She should still count as a champion, so it doesn't appear on the Swindles. So you can definitely get out of this. It's going to suck if he has the spell to break it, but if this is successful, we should be just super far ahead at this point. And it was successful. We're going to flip this Nidalee, but we're going to take the fancy route with this one. Say if he's gonna come at her with the Calling Strike, then we can ambush out. So there's the Soul Harvest. That's fine. You fought valiantly.
Neat and quiet.
Elegant edge.
My mama would love you. Just when you thought you'd seen it
So we should probably just go ahead and trade away the All-Terrain Trooper now, right? He's just gonna block it with the Elegant Edge anyways. I don't think he's dealt damage to us this round. Oh, we got Hallowed 6 anyways.
Blink and you'll miss me.
We probably should have put all those stats onto Nidalee, right, and forced that block. Probably.
So pretty.
A brief engagement, but a joyous one.
This way.
Did he play the stylish shot this turn? Like, I don't think we're ever blocking with Nidalee if we're going to be real. He didn't do it. There's the stylish shot. Our life total is just so high at this point. Taking just a few points of damage doesn't feel like it really matters. You don't really want to be dropping vengeances on units that are this bad. Oh shit. God damn it. I meant to play the Vastaya face down so that we could overwhelm our Nidalee next turn. I just clicked on the wrong one. I guess that worked out though. I guess that worked out. All right, welcome ambushing parfait coming through. That should do it. Nice to get this big overwhelm package coming through with Nidalee. Get to showcase that once. Look at that 9 attack Nidalee. Look out, my dudes, look out. That's the good stuff right there.
Why are you here?
Alright, lethal either way. We'll pass on the ambush. Call it a day. GG, my friend. So we can pull this deck up, talk about it a little bit more. And so, again, you know, there's a few different reasons to want to play this deck. If you want to go out there and have some fun with your Soul Fighter skins, this is a reasonable way to go about it. It is kind of interesting in that blue Gwen style of deck thing to where you have all of the overwhelms with the Halloweds. And it does get access to those counter spells that you don't get out of a lot of the overwhelm-based strategies and the usage of Avenging Vastaya and Rite of Negation. And so, you know, very interesting things there that you can pull off with this. If you're looking towards the Runeterra Open, like, I just can't really recommend playing Gwen. But if you're really set on playing Gwen, then I would probably look towards a Quinn version or a Vayne version. Just having access to Demacia and then having tumbles and cataclysms and stuff to get all the free attacks, it just always strikes me as being a little bit more important than the utility we get out of these counter spells. But if you're looking to, say, finish off a Nidalee quest or use your skins or whatever, this is a very interesting and powerful idea that you can bring forth, making use of both Gwen and Nidalee, and has a lot of interesting and powerful combos within. But nonetheless, good stuff. Good set of games. I had fun. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way, and you had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.